The top 10 most evil moments in Mortal Kombat history. From forcing family members to fight each other to the death, and turning literal gods into breeding factories for bugs, and just so much more. There's a lot. When I started writing the script, I was worried that I wouldn't have enough content. But boy was I wrong. I was dead wrong. Because this series has so many awful deeds that it makes the devil blush. So without any further ado, let's get started. If you enjoy top 10 videos or simply love Mortal Kombat, then make sure to smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Alright, at number 10, we're already starting off strong because we're gonna talk about the crazy betrayal of Shang Tsung. And trust me, you're not prepared for how deviously diabolical this story is. This story begins with Kenshi, one of the sole survivors of a proud race of swordmen, and Kenshi is doing a great job proving to the world that he's one of the best to ever do it, okay? He's one of the strongest swordsmen alive. And one day he's approached by an old man who says, yo, you're pretty good, but I have an ancient sword I want to show you that will make you even better. With this sword, you will be unbeatable, hands down the strongest warrior to ever exist. Sounds like a pretty good cheat code, right? So of course Kenshi follows this old man, and he's told the sword is at the bottom of this well. So Kenshi goes to open the well, and guess what? His face is bombarded by thousands of souls, and this act itself leaves him completely blind. In fact, scratch that, it burns his eyes completely out of his face. That's right, in the original games, Kenshi doesn't even have eyeballs, because apparently that's what happens when you catch 1,000 souls with your face. But don't worry, it gets worse. This story is only getting started. It turns out that old man was just Shang Tsung in disguise, because the guy can shapeshift. And without missing a beat, Shang Tsung absorbs every single soul in the well and then leaves Kenshi for dead. Doesn't even kill him, he abandons this blind former swordmaster to starve to death. But it still gets worse because it turns out that well was filled with Kenshi's ancestors. That's right, the well was a sacred burial ground. Or in other words, Shang Tsung tricked Kenshi into betraying his entire ancestral family tree. And what's even crazier is Shang Tsung managed to commit a re-genocide, which I didn't even think was possible. The man straight up defiled an entire graveyard and managed to kill an entire ancestral tree a second time by absorbing the souls into his body. Yeah, Kenshi's origin story is nuts, and the betrayal itself from Shang Tsung is easily a top 10 evil moment in Mortal Kombat. But now finally it's time to move on. At number 9, we have Devora's ending in Mortal Kombat X, because this demented psycho woman turns a former elder god into a breeding factory for her bugs. That's right, your boy Shinnok is turned into a baby factory for Devora. How insane is that? It's beyond gross, but guess what? Things get even more evil, because once these god children are finally born from the brood mother that was once Shinnok, Devora sends these children out to destroy all life on the planet. Yeah, she just kills everything. Shang Tsung may have committed genocide, but Devora committed planeticide. And once again, all of this was only possible because Devora had a brain evil enough to conjure up the idea of forcibly impregnating a god with a bug larva. Yeah, but now it's time for number 8, featuring one of the most hated characters in Mortal Kombat history, and that's Twindel, otherwise known as the new Sindel, who made her debut in Mortal Kombat 11. During her story chapter in Aftermath, Sindel captures Johnny Cage and Cassie Cage and says, "You're gonna breed slaves for me." And that's because Cassie Cage and Johnny Cage have an ancient ability that allows them to kill gods, and Sindel is very interested in that. So yeah, if Liu Kang had not shown up to save the day and revert the timeline, that means Sindel would have been forcing Johnny Cage and Cassie Cage to have sex endlessly against their will for the sole purpose of building Sindel's god killer army. Yeah, this chick is messed up and beyond evil. Definitely a top 10 disgusting moment in Mortal Kombat. So now it's time for number 7, and this one gets a bit more personal. It's an emotional betrayal, the likes of which I've never seen in fiction. In the original timeline, Kitana and Mileena were raised together as sisters, and that's only possible because Shao Kahn cloned Kitana at a very young age. So once again, as a result, Kitana does believe that Mileena is her genuine sister, and she also believes that Shao Kahn is her genuine father, neither of which is true, because it turns out Shao Kahn actually killed Mileena's father and was also responsible for Kitana's mother taking her own life. But that wasn't evil enough for Shao Kahn. He had to go even further, because it turns out Shao Kahn made Mileena for the sole purpose of betraying her sister and then replacing her so that nobody knows Kitana actually died. You see, Shao Kahn is as thorough as he is evil, and he knew one day that Kitana might might betray him because she has Sindel's genes and Sindel was a good person. And even though Shao Kahn did his best to raise Katana as a heartless assassin, it's still possible one day she turns good and betrays him, and that's what Mileena is for. So real quick, let's put this all together. Shao Kahn invades a realm, marries the queen, kills the king, gets the queen to commit suicide, tricks the queen's daughter into thinking he's her father, and then raises her as a killing machine, and then finally clones that same daughter with an evil twin to betray her and kill her just in case the daughter ever steps out of line. Yeah, that's Shao Kahn, pretty evil guy. But now it's time for number 5, and as I'm reading this, I realize now it's not as extreme as the previous stories, but I'm still going with it because I find it so hilarious. So there's two characters named Kira and Kobra, who despite being partners are constantly killing each other in their own endings. It happens multiple times, which is hilarious, but none of it gets more ironic than Kira's ending in Mortal Kombat Armageddon. After defeating Blaze and being filled with godlike energy, she revives Kobra because that's her partner. However, upon getting revived, Kobra goes, "Man, I like this godly energy, I want more of it," and he kills Kira to get all of the energy. Yeah, it turns out Kobra is a heartless son of a gun. This guy is up there with the most evil characters in Mortal Kombat fiction, because even though Kira kills him in an ending too, it's implied she may have done it by accident because she was a goddess of death and upon kissing him, he died. So once again, she could have done it by mistake, but Kobra did it on purpose, and once again, he killed Kira in her own ending. How savage is that? Now it's time for number 5, and ironically enough, this savage moment comes from one of the good guys, Raiden, the god of thunder himself and protector of Earthrealm. Yep, he's on this list, because this mad lad intentionally forced one of his enemies to drown for all eternity. You see this man on screen, his name's Garrus, and he's technically immortal, because if you do manage to kill him, he just revives. And as a result, he's pretty tricky to get rid of, but Raiden is an ancient god with thousands of years of experience. And as a result, your boy found the answer pretty quickly and just dumped Garrus into the Sea of Blood, which is infinite. And once again, I must stress this, Garrus is not unkillable, he just never stays dead, which means he is drowning and dying over and over again for eternity. That might be one of the cruelest ways to punish your enemies that I've ever heard of. That is some Greek mythology level nonsense. But for number 4, I'm gonna keep things simple, Tanya betraying everybody. Yeah, Tanya is one of the most evil characters in all of Mortal Kombat because she's never not betraying somebody. She betrayed Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat 4, she betrayed Mileena and Rain in Mortal Kombat X, and honestly the list goes on, and we'd be here all day if I had to list every time that Tanya betrayed somebody. She's downright evil, and that's why she's on the list, because she's always betraying somebody. Next up at number 3, we have Kano's ending in Mortal Kombat X, which a lot of people laughed off because of how erotic it was. I mean, just look at Sonya Blade and Cassie Cage in this image. However, I don't think enough people realize that this fight is likely a battle to the death, because we're talking about Kano here, and he's been shown to host death tournaments where the only way to leave the arena is to kill your opponent. So once again, in this ending, Sonya Blade and Cassie Cage are being forced to beat each other until one of them dies. And keep in mind, these two are mother and daughter, just in case you're not a Mortal Kombat fan. So Kano is forcing a mother and daughter to fight to the death. And if all that wasn't creepy enough already, he's forcing them to do this while wearing lingerie, because that's how perverted this man is. Like I said, a lot of people laugh this ending off because the outfits are so skimpy, but keep in mind what Kano's actually doing here. A top 10 evil moment for sure. Alright, but now it's time for number 2, how Quan Chi created Scorpion. This plan has so many layers to it that it's honestly ridiculous. So let me simplify things by just listing what Quan Chi did, okay? He killed an entire clan, so that's genocide, which is already bad enough, but while doing it, he impersonated a different man and framed him for the act. That man's name was Sub-Zero, by the way. And then finally, he enslaved Scorpion, who, keep in mind, is a member of this same clan. And he believes that Sub-Zero killed his clan, but nope, it's Quan Chi, which means that Scorpion is unintentionally serving the man who killed his entire clan and his family. Alright, his wife and kid. Like I said earlier, Quan Chi is downright diabolical. This man is an absolute menace, which is why every single time he dies, I enjoy it so much. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen, it's finally time for number 1, the most evil moment in Mortal Kombat history. I thought long and hard about this one, and as it turns out, the answer was actually quite simple and staring me in the face the whole time. The most evil character in Mortal Kombat is Shao Kahn, because even though Quan Chi's killed entire clans and D'Vorah wants to kill the entire world, Shao Kahn has literally laid waste to multiple worlds. He is the conqueror of realms, and there's no grand design for why Shao Kahn is doing this. He has no overall endgame. He simply enjoys invading realms and conquering worlds. It's his favorite job, and this guy is living his best life. That's how evil Shao Kahn is. Millions of people have died from these invasions, alright? Shao Kahn's kill count cannot be matched by anybody else in Mortal Kombat, and honestly not by most characters in video video game fiction. I mean, seriously, how many other characters in video games are responsible for killing millions upon millions of people? Like I said, the answer was staring me in the face the whole time. The most evil character in all of Mortal Kombat is Shao Kahn, and his obsession with invading and conquering realms is the most evil act in Mortal Kombat history. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below. It helps my channel out a ton. And then keep that combo going by subscribing and ringing that bell. That way you never miss a future video. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.